Thank you, Tom, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome once again to the Johnson's Wax program. Our play tonight is called Harvest. It concerns three hopes, three dreams of three different kinds of harvest. It's our special Thanksgiving program, and our star is one of the American theater's most accomplished actresses, Miss Dorothy Gish. Her most recent appearance on this series was last season in Post Road. In just a moment, we'll begin tonight's story. In the meantime, may we suggest that you soon try some of the many fine products of Johnson's Wax for home and industry.
Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountain majesties above the fruited plain. America, America, God shed His grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea.
Autumn has come to a wide stretch of land and to the cities across the great expanse of the United States. Autumn is the time of things ending and of fulfillment. If you're a farmer, autumn is for a time of harvest, of fruition, of reward for the long year's work. That is, autumn should be your time of reward. This is the farm home of one called Zelenka, wheat grower on a very modest scale. This is Gramp Zelenka, Carl's father, who came west in a covered wagon train and homesteaded this farm and had many fine dreams here. And now he has only one left. He hopes to live a few more weeks until his birthday, his 100th. It's quite a harvest if he makes it.
Bless this house, O Lord, we pray.
This is Ellen Zelenka, Carl's wife. You can see there's dreaming going on here, too. The wheat crop is not yet harvested, and that unharvested wheat is very important to Ellen Zelenka. There have been many disappointments in her life in the years since Carl brought her to this house as a young bride. She really doesn't deserve another disappointment now. Nor, for that matter, does Carl, as he stands looking out on the fruits of a whole year's work, ready for harvest.
I don't think it means anything, Carl.
Kind of funny, though, coming up out of nowhere like that.
Oh, nothing's going to happen.
Well, I just wish I hadn't missed that weather report this noon.
Well, all they said this morning was light, scattered showers.
Hey! Them's hail clouds coming up, in case you hadn't noticed.
Ellen, come here.
Oh, Carl.
That's what comes of counting your chickens before the hatch. I warned you.
Now, Gramp, you stop that. Nothing's happened and nothing will.
You'll find out. Buying all them fancy dresses for the grain was even out of the milk stage.
All she bought was 2 dresses, Pa?
And a new hat, and a new coat, and a new suitcase.
Now, what would Joe say if his father and mother came to visit him and Fran in the city with their clothes wrapped up in paper boxes?
First time you took Ma on a trip, I bet you didn't make her take her clothes in paper boxes.
I took her on a trip before she had one foot in the grave.
Gramp!
It's not because I haven't wanted to, you know that.
Maybe. Ain't gonna hail, huh? I can smell the dang blasted stuff. Smells white and cold.
Where's that kid, anyway? I told him I was going to start combining right after dinner.
You know dang well where he is. Out lollygagging with that city wench. 2 of your sons left the farm, and now Paul's going to make it all 3.
This is one time you're going to be wrong. That boy is staying on this farm. And he's not marrying that girl.
If you think Carl was a little harsh, remember that there's a lot at stake here. The hope that the third son, the youngest son, will want to stay and someday take over the farm. Well, here's the son, here's Paul, and here's the girl.
Oh, Paul, stop it. It's too hot. Oh, Paul. Oh, Paul, don't tickle me. Paul, I said don't tickle me. I don't like it.
Oh, yes, Your Royal Highness, Queen Arlene.
Oh, Paul. Now, Paul, I don't like you to do things like that or say things like that to me.
Okay. It's everything I do annoys you. I guess you'll be glad to get back to that big city pretty soon.
Paul. You know I'll miss you.
Well, I hope so, honey. I'm going to be there for long anyway.
I wonder. I'll bet you still haven't told your father yet that you're leaving.
No, I told you. I'm going to tell him as soon as the harvest's over.
And when is that?
Well, we're going to start cutting this afternoon. And we ought to have it cleaned up, a couple days. If you'd have seen how hard it hit Dad, when the brothers pulled out. Very bad.
Oh, Paul. Your father must know by now that you hate farming. He must know that you want to do something else.
Yeah. Well, he thinks farming is probably the most important thing in the world.
But it's not for you. Or so you say. What is it, Paul?
I don't know. I sure don't like the looks of those clouds.
Oh, don't tell me it's going to rain and spoil our afternoon.
I think you better scoot for the cabin. Looks like it's coming on pretty fast.
Aren't you coming with me?
No, I can't. I gotta go home.
Why?
Well, 'cause you just... Well... Look, I gotta go, that's all. I'll see you. Goodbye.
So far, it looks as though Gramp might be right. However, there's another side to this romance. There's another family. Arlene's father and mother. Their home is in a city 50 miles from here, but their summer cabin stands near the banks of a stream that flows through the Zelenka farm.
What is it you're looking for, dear?
My book of trout flies. That's the last time, so help me, that Arlene ever used any of my fishing tackle.
Well, where do you usually keep them?
If she ever touches any of that stuff again, right here in the top drawer. I had over $100 worth of hand-tied trout flies in that book. She's lost
Is
them.
this it, dear?
Where was it?
Right in that drawer.
Where is she, anyway?
She's gone for a walk with Paul.
Again? Louise, she's not getting serious about that boy, I hope.
I think at the moment she wants to marry him.
What? What was that you said?
You heard what I said. Oh, but I'm sure it's just one of those summer romances.
Well, I hope so. Nice-looking, good-natured kid, but I certainly don't want him for a son-in-law. Ye gods.
What was that?
I don't know.
Oh, dear, I hope it's not going to storm now and ruin my party. I've planned everything for outdoors. It's one last time for the season.
It'll only be a shower. Oh, boy, will they be biting when this is over, huh? Don't look so glum. Listen, if I don't catch my limit today, you get a new hat.
Have you ever heard that sound? It's the sound of hailstones gathering and rolling high in the clouds. To a farmer, it's a terrifying thing to hear. It means that thousands of tons of ice are suspended over his fields.
Gramp, it is hail.
I told you. Going to be a Jim Dandy. And only the big ones roll and howl like that.
What's that?
Why, he went out to start cutting the wheat.
We can't cut now. It's going to hail any minute.
Well, it may still miss us. It's such a little field.
And all he'll harvest out there is a hopper full of hailstones, big as hen's eggs.
That's sure funny.
That, my boy, is what's known as the quiet before the storm.
Hey. What did I tell you? It's over almost before it started. Yeah, I'm off.
Does it look very bad? Do you think I can still serve outdoors?
Well, of course you can. Looks like we missed the worst of the storm. Sun will dry off everything in no time at all. Well, bye now.
Goodbye, dear.
Aha. Worms. Just in case the fancy flies don't do the trick. Wonderful what good a little rain will do with that.
Now, Paul, you know things like this happen, and there's nothing we can do about it.
You ought to know by this time, when you're a farmer, you gotta set your hopes for tomorrow.
Yes.
Even when you know dang well tomorrow will probably be worse than today.
Yes, sir. Oh, Carl, wait. Coffee's on. We'll be finished perking in just a minute. Coffee's on the table, Paul. Fresh donuts, too.
Still gotta have his sugar candy.
Oh, come in.
Hi, everybody. Did you ever see such a mess?
Here. You
Oh,
want to
thank
change?
you.
I could get you a robe.
Oh, no, I'm just fine, Mrs. Zelenka.
Oh, then sit down.
Whew. Sure lucky that shed was handy. Or I might have been drowned. Torn to shreds.
Quite a storm, man. Kind of ruined things, didn't it?
Oh, I don't mind it, really. The rain's good for the hair, you know.
Oh?
That smells good. Thank you. Oh, you folks are sure lucky. Sitting here where it's warm and cozy, while the storm spends its fury from without. I'm sorry. Did I say something wrong, Paul?
No, of course not, dear.
Take a look at that.
What? I don't see anything.
That mud out there was a stand of ripe wheat 10 minutes ago.
Wheat. It's gone. But it only held for a few minutes.
Yeah.
Sit down, Arlene. Your coffee will get cold.
What does it mean for you, Mr. Zelenka?
What does it mean? No crop this year, that's all.
That ain't all. And him and Ellen will have to wait another year for their honeymoon.
Honeymoon? Oh, Grant.
I don't know what else you'd call it. First vacation since you was married.
We were just going to visit our oldest boy, Joe, and his family.
As if she hadn't thought about that for years.
I'll tell you something, young lady. Today don't count. You got to set your hopes for tomorrow. Anybody who ain't got gumption to hacker that way ain't got what it takes to be a farmer.
Mom. Oh, Gramp, you always exaggerate. When you look on the years that have gone by, it's been a pretty good life. We think so anyway.
What's been so good about it?
I wouldn't want to change places. Not with anybody.
Well, you got your neck bowed on Paul here taking over the farm.
Mom, if he
Gramp, it's way past time for your afternoon snooze.
He ain't gonna stay put no more than Joe did in a chuck, and what do you think of that?
Come on here, Arlene. Let's go for a ride.
If you had more guts, he'd have told you the truth.
You've got to set your hopes for tomorrow. Only this is the big hope, isn't it, Carl? If you had words for it, what you would say is that this last son of yours is to prove that you've been right. That your way of life is the good life. You believe it to be. Surely there is such a harvest. No drought can cheat you of. No hail, storm can ruin.
Bless the folk who dwell within. Keep them pure and free from sin.
In just a moment, we'll return with Act Two of Harvest, starring Dorothy Gish.
Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain.
At 5 minutes to 2 o'clock one lovely afternoon, Carl Zelenka had a fine stand of wheat ready for cutting. At 1 minute to 3, that field had been harvested, every golden grain of it, by a hailstorm, sudden, violent, and thorough. Something like having your whole year's salary in one lump sum in your pocket and then losing it in a holdup on the way home. But there is still help to be had, and Carl has business in town. Business with the gentleman on whom virtually all farmers must sooner or later pay a call.
Oh, hello, Carl. Want to see me?
If you got a minute, yeah.
Come on in. Oh, come on in. Well, Carl, how are things with you these days?
Oh, so-so.
All through with your harvesting, are you?
Didn't have anything to harvest. Got hailed out yesterday. Took all my wheat.
Is that a fact? I thought it fell only north of Plum Creek.
Well, it came across the creek long enough to get me anyway.
How bad did it hit you?
100% loss. Took it all.
Well, you got hail insurance, of course. I remember we discussed that last spring.
Yeah, I got some, about enough to pay for the seed.
Now, as I recall it, we're carrying you for some feeder cattle. Steady head, I believe.
You don't have to look it up. That's what it is. 30 head of steer calves. You let me have 2,000 on them.
Now, look here, if you want to apply for an additional amount, and I presume that's the reason you're here, it's just a matter of routine, looking into the files. Oh, yes. Say, did you get around to clearing that 10 acres of brush ground or not?
Yes, I cleared it.
Well, now, Carl, this is a matter of $2,000 outstanding.
If you have to close the bank up on my account, I don't want you to do it. If you're that hard up, I'd just never mind it.
Well, now, Carl, don't take it like that. This is just a matter of business. Now, wait a minute, Carl. Don't go away mad.
Sure, that's better, Carl. And you know in your heart that Franklin is just as sorry this happened as you are.
Well, it won't be long now, Grandpa.
What won't?
You know what? Your 100th birthday. And you're still the youngest man on the place.
Never mind that. Carl back from town yet?
No, not yet.
Now, even if he gets that loan, you still can't make that trip.
Well, of course not. That isn't what he's getting the loan for.
Hi, folks. That all you two have to do, sit out here chilling on the front porch?
What's eating you? You stubbed your toe in a saloon?
Oh, Grant.
Maybe I should have done it at that.
Did you get the loan?
Oh, the loan. Of course I got it.
Did you think I wouldn't?
No. You see? I told you so.
Oh, Paul will be glad to hear about this. Where is he?
Where's he always at these days?
Well, Graham, can you really blame the boy? In a day or two, Arlene and her family are going back to the city, 50 whole miles away from here.
Here you are, Paul. Haven't worn it since you came back from the cleanings. Silly business having to wear a coat like this. Especially when we're way out here in the country. It's supposed to be roughing it, huh? Well, anything to please the ladies, I guess.
This is the only meal, Paul, I insist on keeping at least semi-civilized. And it doesn't hurt anyone in the least. There you are. Dinner is served, gentlemen. Oh, Herb, you idiot. Thank you.
I don't blame you a bit, my boy, not wanting to give it up like that. I'm anxious to get started myself.
The dinner, the evening, and that last paragraph in A Happy Summer was soon over. Arlene's family had returned to the city. Life at the farm went on, unaltered, as did supper, day after autumn day.
Matter, Paul? Aren't you hungry?
Well, this must be about the last of the beef, isn't it, Ellen?
Yes, almost finished.
Well, first cool day comes along, we'll have to butcher that barren heifer. She's hog fat right now. I want to make some first-rate beef.
Paul, aren't you feeling well?
I feel all right, Mom. Mom, could we at least have some napkins at the table?
Napkins? Of course, I don't know why it is. I never can remember napkins.
Just you be glad you got good, tasty grub in front of you, sonny boy. Now, don't never feel ashamed of folks that's got hearty appetites that comes from good, hard work.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, I guess you do, all right.
I'm not hungry, Mom.
Paul, where are you going?
Out. I'm gonna go to a movie or something.
You ready for your coffee, Grant?
You know I am. Trouble with him is he's got his mind all tangled up with the skirt. It's giving him fancy notions.
My heart and soul is restless. I'm feeling so let down. I wanna leave my homestead. I wanna go to town. And it looks like I'm never gonna cease my wandering. I'm never gonna cease my wandering.
It'll be just a second.
Well, bring it along anyhow, will you, Ellen?
No, I'll wait until it's right. You won't like it. There now.
What's the matter?
I thought I heard Grant getting up.
Oh, you're imagining things. Why would he be getting up at 4:30 in the morning?
Oh, the Sam Hill took my overalls. Carl, did you see them?
Why, Grant, your overalls have been packed away for years.
Who's that one?
What's the matter with you, Paul? You walking in your sleep?
Don't get fresh, kid. I asked you, where's my overalls?
Well, I can probably find them for you, but what do you want them for, Pa?
What do I want them for? Do you expect me to go out and milk in my best Sunday pants?
Why, you don't need to help, Grant. Carl and I'll milk just the same as always.
I want advice from you, woman. I'll ask you, whoever you are.
Say, what's got into you, Pa? Can't you see that's Ellen?
Ellen? Ellen? It seems like I ought. What's that? You got coffee?
Nice hot coffee. Here.
Ellen. Ellie?
Yes, Grant?
Would you mind turning the other way for a minute? Plumber forgot to put on my pants this morning. It must be getting old. That's a tomfool thing to be doing. Coming down the kitchen with my pants on. Okay, Ellie. Coast is clear.
Well, that's the first time his mind has ever wandered.
Well, once it starts, you know, he's doggone near 100, Ellen.
Oh, Carl, I do hope he gets his wish.
I'm sure he will. It's only, what, a couple of weeks off.
Yes, I know. Well, finish your coffee.
Yeah, we got to get out there.
Are you going to bring it, or do I have to come get it? Ain't nothing from Chuck or Joe, I suppose.
Nope.
Think they write to their mother once in a while. Oh, Paul. Oh, here, boy. Here.
What do you want, Grant?
Here. Paul, you take it from me. I'd let that ladybird fly if I was you.
Well, you ain't me, Gramp.
Oh.
Paul, did the mail come?
There it is. Ain't nothing worth nothing except in the paper.
Gramp, it's much too cold for you to sit out here.
Well, mind your business. I like fresh air.
You want to be sick in bed when all the people come to congratulate you on your 100th birthday? Is that it?
I ain't never been sick a day in my life, and I'm too old to learn how now.
Oh, Gramp.
Anybody else around here lived as long as I have, Chinora?
Cold isn't any better. By tomorrow, I'm going to get the doctor out here, no matter what says.
Ma, I'm going to go into the city today.
You are?
No.
I thought you weren't going until tonight.
Well, I want to look for a job.
Oh.
Well, you see, I told Dad I was going to look for a job. And...
Oh, I see. Well, I guess you'll be seeing Arlene tonight, won't you?
Yeah?
Then you can do me a favor.
What's that?
Well, Mr. Ross is crazy about chicken soup. And since we had to kill all these hens, I thought I'd like to send him and Mrs. Ross a couple of soup.
Oh, Mom, for Pete's sake, I don't want to come walking in dragging a bunch of silly chickens.
Now, you stop that.
Okay, I'll
Here.
take it.
Can't say I didn't warn him. Might swell talk to buck deer when the does is prancing in the meadow in the moonlight.
Maybe it's all the same to you, Grant. But would you have kept your eyes closed so tight had you known this would be your last chance to see your grandson, Paul?
I'll get it. Just a minute.
Hi.
Paul, I didn't expect you until tonight. Come in.
My mom sent over a couple of boiling hens. Thought your mom might like to have them for chicken soup.
Well, this must be the famous farmer I've been hearing so much about.
Paul, this is Kit. Mrs. Zelenka, Mr. Rowley.
Skipper rolling at the moment. I was just going to take Arlene down to the yacht club. I'm having my boat taken out for the winter. Why don't you come along with us?
Oh, come with us, Paul. It's lots of fun. In fact, they use a tractor to pull out the boats. I think you'll find it very interesting.
I think I'll just give these to your mother, and I think I better...
Paul, you've come early. How very nice.
Paul brought you something, Mother.
For me?
Yeah, the couple of boiling hens. An old weasel, he got into the chickens, and, well, Mother was freezing some chickens, and she said, Mr. Ross liked chicken soup, so...
How very nice of her to think of us. You must thank her for me, Paul.
What was that about a weasel? Did he kill those chickens?
We butchered those hens, mister. A weasel killed most of our chickens, so we just butchered the rest of them, and... Is that clear now?
Oh, yes. It's very clear.
I'm afraid Kip is dreadfully ignorant about such things. Paul, you must forgive him. Why don't you two run along? Paul and I can have a nice visit till you come back.
Come with us, Paul. All right. I'll see you later. Bye.
Bye-bye, dear. Paul, I'm glad we have this chance for a little talk.
Oh, well, thanks, Miss Ross, but I think I'd better...
Paul, we're all very fond of you. I'm sure you must realize that no matter what may...
You don't have to bother, Miss Ross, because, well, I'm pretty busy anyway, and, I'll just say goodbye.
Don't forget to thank your mother for the chickens.
Okay. Bye.
Goodbye, Paul.
City Junction will leave in 5 minutes. The next bus for Mid-City Junction will leave in 5 minutes.
I'm never gonna cease my
Dang busted. That's the first one to break in years. I'm never gonna make it. And if I just ain't too tired to give a hang. I always did figure that I get to there, though. Remember now, keep setting your hopes for tomorrow.
In just a moment, we'll return with Act 3 of Harvest, starring Dorothy Gish.
Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain.
Gramp lost his dream about those 100 years even. Paul lost his girl on the selfsame autumn afternoon. Actually, 3 dreams came to nothing, because Paul is hereafter lost to the farm. What happens now to Carl Zelenka's faith in a rewarding harvest?
Carl, will you call Gramp? You know, I don't know what's the matter with me. I can't get him out of my mind.
Finally got it written, huh?
Yes, thank goodness. It was awfully hard to tell them.
Maybe they won't care as much as you think.
Oh, Carl, Joe loved Gramp. So did Chuck. And they'll be worried when they hear that Paul has left.
Maybe.
Then Mr. Joseph Zelenka, once a farm boy, the eldest son of Carl and Ella. Where do we find him now? In the world he chose for himself 1,000 miles away. Joe's married, has 2 fine kids. And on the day Ellen's letter arrived, Carl Zelenka's middle son, Chuck, was there.
Honey, shouldn't they be in bed?
Why, no, they should, Joe. But they go wild when their Uncle Chuck's in town.
Same as always, isn't he? Sitting on top of the world with holes in his shoes and no job again. Well,
Hey, kid! You wild Indians, it's bedtime.
Okay, now, you guys, good night for the 10th and last time, you hear?
Night, Uncle Chuck.
Night.
Will you be here tomorrow, Uncle Chuck?
Well, I'll be back one of these days if you get to sleep in 5 minutes.
All right, we will.
Okay. Good night. Happy dreams.
boy, they're a handful.
And smart? Well, it's a darn shame Mom and Dad couldn't make the trip to see you people. They sure would love those kids.
We sure were disappointed they couldn't come, but that's farming for you, all right. Work hard all year, get hailed out in 5 minutes.
Darn shame for Mom. This would have been the first trip she ever had in her life.
If you cared so much about their feelings, my boy, you could have gone home and helped out with the harvest, you know?
Well, I might have done just that, my boy, if Dad didn't already have all the help he needed with Paul there.
Good night, sweetie. Chuck. Will you come and sit down, please?
Oh, sure. Bet.
Joe, just a minute, honey.
For gosh sake, more trouble back home.
This letter came this morning.
What is it, Fran? Is it Gramp?
Yes. Gramp died last week. It happened just a few days before his 100th birthday.
Yeah, it's too bad.
And that same day before it happened, Paul joined the Navy.
For the love of Pete, the crazy kid.
Joe, you can imagine how lonely it must be right now on the farm for your mother and Dad. She wants us all to come there for Thanksgiving.
For Thanksgiving?
I think she hopes it'll be sort of a family reunion.
Yeah, sure, Fran, but Thanksgiving.
She says she's written you too, Chuck.
Fran, that's the big game, state versus UI.
You could sell those tickets.
Oh, no, Fran, I couldn't do that. Not for Doc. Why, that guy moved heaven and earth to get tickets just for me. And besides, what about the big party he throws afterwards?
I know. It isn't an easy thing to give up.
And maybe I can't even get away from the store for that long. I don't know, Fran. I really don't know. I just don't see how we can do it.
And there was another letter from Ellen that had gone out to another part of vast autumnal land with the same invitation. Only this time it was not up to her boy to say yes or no. That was in someone else's power to say.
Dad, I thought you'd be over at the Jacksons.
Oh, I was going, but I didn't quite feel up to it after all.
Oh, I wish you had. Do you good to see someone else for a while.
Some other day. Say, what in the world have you got here?
Well, tomorrow's Thanksgiving, isn't it? That's our turkey.
That? For just us two? Why, this thing weighs 20 pounds.
Oh, we'll get rid of it by and by. I never could stand a puny bird.
Yeah, but we'll be having leftovers on this moose till next spring.
Oh, I don't think we will.
Say, did I hear that bus stop outside?
No, you must be imagining things.
Ellen, what have you been up to?
So I got too big a turkey, did I?
Say, what's going on here?
Over the river and through the woods from on the side away. Spring over the ground like a hunting hound. It is Thanksgiving
Mother.
Day.
They're all here. Everyone.
Dad, Ma. Hey,
And what a time we had.
So they did come. Everyone. Somehow, anyhow. In spite of miles and money, in spite of football games or business worries, as millions managed to do, the Zelenkas all came home for Thanksgiving. And if they brought joy, they found it, too.
I'm not necessarily saying it'd work here just because it came out that way on the experimental plots, but it might be worth a try.
Well, it wouldn't be out anything to give it a try, that's for sure.
Dad? Does, does he plan to come back here after he gets out of the Navy? Is that a guess, Dad, or did he tell you?
He told me. He, claimed he never was any part of a farmer. Not any more than you and Joe, he said. That's funny, too. All three of you. I certainly must have set my sons a mighty bum example. Paul told me right out. He hated it. Always had hated it, he said.
Oh, I don't believe he could have meant that, Dad. Now, I know I certainly never felt that way about it.
You pulled out, Chuck, same as the other two.
Well, I didn't tell you it was because I couldn't stand it.
No, and I've often wondered why you left. Always seemed to feel that you make a good farmer.
Well, why didn't you ever tell me, Dad?
I guess there's a lot of things I should have said to all of you. I never was much good at coming out with things I had on my mind.
I should have talked more to you. I should have told you why I left.
I told Ma one day I thought it had something to do with all them books you were always reading.
I don't know. Maybe I was restless. I had such an awful urge to go places and find out about everything. There were so many questions on my mind that, well, it's about to blow up. So I just had to go out and try and find the answers.
And did you find them?
Well, some of them, I suppose. I think I know a lot more than I did. And I know one thing for sure. I know now that I can find the answers just as well right here at home. You know, there's something about farming. There's something to it, Dad. It gets you. Working with your hands, that must be part of it. Making things grow, fixing things, trying out new ideas. Well, you can never catch up with all there is to know about farming.
Yeah, that's for sure.
And there's other things, too. Just riding a tractor and looking back and seeing that black dirt roll up in that long, slick ribbon. Watching the cattle graze on the meadow. Does something for you, that's all. I remember once in Chicago, I woke up in this rooming house I was staying in. It was in the fall. And for just a short second, I thought I was back here, waking up in my own bed. I came awful close to heading for home that time.
I wish you had.
Would it be okay with you if I stay now?
Yeah. Sure. That'll be all right. I guess you're a farmer, all right.
Say, I'm getting kind of hungry. Don't you suppose that turkey ought to be about done by now?
Well, let's go and find out.
Let me, please,
He went higher than I did.
I know he went higher than you. Look at that.
There now. Everything's ready.
There we are.
That's delicious. All right.
Well, my goodness, why don't you all sit down?
Oh, that's the word we're looking for.
Lord, we thank thee for this wonderful feast. On this day of Thanksgiving, we have much to be grateful for. We thank thee for all the good things that have come our way this past year. We thank thee that we may all be together here today, all our sons, and our son Joe's wife, and our grandchildren. And Lord, we thank thee that our son Chuck has come home to stay.
Lord, don't let me ever forget again what Gramp always used to say. You got to set your hopes on tomorrow. Amen.
Pass your plates, everybody. Come on. Here we go. Here, how about some more? Pass the plates. Billy, what are you going to have? Mitchell's ready to get all this meat here.
Harvest. Portrait of an American Family. In just a moment, I'll tell you more about the star and story of our next presentation. We'll have a chance to talk to tonight's star, Dorothy Gish. As you know, this program is sponsored alternately by the makers of Johnson's Wax and Lucky Strike cigarettes. Next week, this program will come to you through the courtesy of our co-sponsors, Lucky Strike cigarettes. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Dorothy Gish. Dorothy, thank you so much for being with us, and it's been too long, since you have been here.
Thank you, Bob, for having me. I always enjoy it.
Well, we'd love to have you back, and very soon, believe me.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, be with us next week when we present The Soprano and the Piccolo Player, starring Francis L. Sullivan. It's a charming love story set against the background of a symphony orchestra. Be with us then, and remember, the name to look for in Wax is Johnson's. Thank you, and good night.
Next week at this time, Robert Montgomery presents The Soprano and the Piccolo Player, starring Francis L. Sullivan, on your Lucky Strike Theater. And remember, tomorrow night on another network, Lucky Strike presents Danny Thomas and Make Room for Daddy. Consult your TV listings for time and station.
Bye.